Welcome back to BTS Means of Fifths. Disclaimer: this is a complete work of fan fiction. Jung got up while massaging his temple. His head was hurting badly as he groaned slightly and blinks a few times to adjust sunlight. As soon as he got his senses back, his eyes widened, remembering last night's incident, and without wasting another second, he ran outside and straight went to Wen's room. His heart dropped. She was not there, nor were any of her stuff. She had even cleaned the room before leaving, and now there was no sign of any birthday surprise anymore. He felt extreme pain in his heart as he clutched his heart and threw a few to ease that stinging pain, but nothing was helping. He was feeling suffocated as he immediately went outside and took long gulps of fresh air like a starving man to ease this pain. Right off, a tear slid down his eyes, which he immediately wiped as he looked upwards towards sky, silently praying for her safety. If staying away from me make you happy, Ryan, then I'm happy for you. His voice breaks, saying these words as he pushed back his tears. After calming himself, he went inside the mansion with his famous calm face. There was no hint of any emotion in his face anymore. He had accepted his fate. He had done a mistake and he was regretting losing his temper till now. But if Wine was not ready to forgive him even after knowing his reasons, then he will give her space. That's what love meant, right? He was inside every second, longing to see just a glimpse of her, just like how she wished he didn't try to search and look for her afterwards. But every passing second was eating him inside. He traced her picture on his phone. There was countless of her pictures in his phone, some of both of them together. Whenever they go out, Van took pictures as a memory, and many others which she have randomly take when she was working or admiring something when they go out. I always take her pictures secretly, and now it feels like only those memories and these pictures are the only thing left by his side. It's been 7 days, 15 hours, and 45 minutes, love. I have not seen you, love. I have not seen you in days, baby. His voice cracks. Please have some mercy on me and show me just a glimpse of yours. Please, Wyatt. He sobs. Someone knocks in door as he immediately wiped his eyes, turned off his phone, and maintained his calm face before replying. Whoever was outside. Come in, he rests calmly, and his friend Jimin entered, smiling. Hey brother, what's up? He greeted with his cheerful personality, but frowns to see him. Don't tell me you didn't look for her. Jungkook didn't reply, and he got his answer and sighs. If you say I'll search for her, Jungkook gave him a glare, and he immediately raised his hand in mock surrender while smiling. Sorry, brother, but look at yourself in mirror. What you have made yourself in just a week. You already looks aged. Are you here for work or just yapping around? Jimin rolled his eyes. Fine, don't talk about it. Of course, for work. Here is the files of our new shipments and Italians wants to set a deal with us. There was no hint of playfulness on his face anymore. Okay, set the date. What are you telling me? They have arranged a ball and you're invited. Jungkook sighs. I don't like these kind of things. It's important for a business deal. Fine, send me date and time. Jung was talking with a business partner. His instructions called a glass of in his hand as he took a sip while listening other men. The announcer words caught his attention as his eyes widened and he immediately snapped his face towards stage. There was a girl standing in stage, her expression soft, a smile on her lips while she was looking straight. Confidence laced her personality. Meet my daughter, everyone, Kangwayan, heir of my kingdom. Jung face dropped, while loud applause heard in room. Ah, she's such a pretty woman, Jungkook partner whom he was talking earlier murmured while he steps. While Jungkook clenched his fist, his gaze only indicating anger and fury now. He was taking his all willpower to not the men standing in front right now. Well, he wore nothing else but hide Wyan from all the predatory eyes. His Wyan was in front of him, whom he had not seen for more than a month now. She was standing in front of him. She is looking down, but as if sensing his burning gaze on her, she looks up, their eyes meet, and her face drop, as she forgot to breathe, while her body trembles on the intensity of his gaze. She immediately looks down as she told something to her father and hastily ran down the stairs. Well, Jinko was fast enough to approach her. She looks behind and fastened her pace as he ran behind her. One stop, he yelled, making her shiver on spot as she started running more faster. When, for God's sake, stop running, babe. You'll fall down and hurt yourself, please. She was breathing heavily, tears dripping down her eyes. Please leave me alone, Chico. Her voice choked with sobs. With 3 long strides, he was in front of her as he pulled her closer to him, and she gasped and struggled to protest and escape from his grip, but in vain as he caged her behind wall. Stop this nonsense right now, he growled, and she flinched, badly. Her glossy eyes met with his, her body trembles under his touch. Before he opened his mouth to say something, darkness engulfed her as she lost her consciousness in his arms. One looks down after opening her eyes, and earlier memories start forming in her mind. And take her long to know where she was. She came to Jungsik's penthouse before, but thankfully he was not around. Her brain jerks in function immediately. Oh my god, she gasps. I can't be here. We were not supposed to meet with each other. She mutters as she fumbles with cupboards and immediately got up and ran towards the door. Thankfully, it was open. Letting out a sigh of relief, she cautiously turned around and ran towards the main door. Stop right there, woman, a husky drawl echoing in the hall. Don't make me more angry than I already am, Miss Kang Wyan. A shiver ran down her spine as she still in her place and her heart drops. It seems she is listening a different person's voice, not the ones Jungkook she knew about. She blinked back her tears as she can sense a hint of anger in his voice. Of course, she was at fault. His anger was not unexpected. Let me go, please, she whispers, without turning back, as he got up from couch and strolled towards her. She looked towards him, and tears start rolling down her cheeks. Please, Jungkook, don't come closer to me. He didn't respond, just marched towards her, his steps lethal and almost predatory. She shivers, anticipating what he is going to do now. After knowing she betrayed him and it was all a game. He came closer and observed her. She was trembling, as he immediately held her waist with one hand and grabbed her chin with the other and forced her to look towards him. Calm down, baby, he whispered softly, a hint of worry and desperation in his voice now. She was visibly shaking at this point as she closed her eyes and took a breath by shaking her head as no. I'm sorry, Jungkook, I really am. She sobs. He rubs her back while nodding in response. Even though it was totally opposite of reaction she expected from him, but her brain was not able to process and she was going to a panic attack. And he visibly saw it coming as well. I know, love, I know, please relax. He was rubbing her back in a soothing manner as more sobs escaped her lips. Her breaths were shallow and she was having extreme difficulty in breathing. No, she shakes her head as another breathy sob left her lips and she stumbles, but he immediately holds her more firmly, pulling her closer to his. Her head. Please calm down, love. We'll talk about this topic later. Please relax. She shakes her head as no, her face hid in his. She tried to pull away to look towards him, but he was not ready to let her leave. I'm here for you, Wen. I'm not leaving. I promise I'll listen and I trust you even now. He was rubbing her back, but her body was not stop shaking. She was breaking down. How can he trust her? and to see her hurt, it was hurting him more than she can imagine. He's holding back to himself. He needs to be strong for both of them. No, I don't. I don't deserve it. She cups with sobs and he shakes his head. Relax. Hmm? This is not right time to talk about this topic. I promise I'll listen your story, but after you took a nap, just close your eyes and relax. He scoops her in his arms and she leans more closer to him. She don't have enough energy to fight, already tired, so she let him win, nor she have enough energy to look in his eyes. She was so ashamed, heartbroken, and many other emotions were swelling in her system. He take her to bed as he made her lay down in soft mattress and lay beside her, his hands making some random circles round her back in a soothing manner, and sooner she drifted into dreamland. One starts as she opened her eyes only to see Jungkook leaning on his arm who was looking towards her closely as if she is the most precious thing he have her. Her heart twisted as she gulps a lump. "You fine?" he whispers, his morning voice husky but soft, and she nods. "Yes," she whispers, almost incoherently. Her eyes narrow. She didn't have enough energy to meet with his intoxicating gaze because of shame. "Look at me, love, and don't lie to me, please." He almost begged, and she finally looks up towards him. Her glossy eyes meet with his for it once, and she felt a pang of hurt. "I'm sorry, Jungkook." Her voice breaks in end as her lips wibble and a tear slid down her eyes. "Shh." Her forehead and attached his forehead with hers. "You're not going to repeat those words again. You hear me?" He held her hand while his other hand was cupping her cheeks. "But no birds," he replied. She nods. "Okay, I will not." Her thumbs grazed his hand, which was holding her, and he gave her a soft smile. Suddenly her stomach growls, and she closed her eyes in embarrassment, and he let her chuckle. "Let's go and feed this tummy," he murmured, getting up, but she held his hand, making him to turn towards her. "You're not going to ask me why I did it?" he frowns, as she bit her lips. "This everything pretending to be made when it belongs to kings. One of billionaires of Korea." He gave her a soft smile as he shook his head as no. "Even after knowing it belonged to your rivals? That I'm your rival's daughter. Maybe you still have sick intentions." Jungkook's expression slightly turns to serious and her heart sinks. She gulps a lump, looking down. "I'm extremely sorry for everything, Jungkook." She hastily got up from bed and looked for her heels. Finding them in a corner, she immediately wear them and he frowns. "What are you doing?" "I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't know about hiccups with sobs, about sick intentions of my father when he sent me to your place." She hastily wore her heels, tears dripping down her eyes. He grits his teeth, understanding her action, while she looks down towards herself. She was no more in last night's party dress, but one of his shirt, which hung lower to her. But she didn't question and ask him how she is wearing it. Both his eyes turned dark as he took dangerous steps towards her, his body deadening anger now. "Where are you going?" he hissed, and she flinched and looked up towards him for a brief second. "Home." Her eyes glossy, the expression didn't flatter, scaring her more. "You can't leave just like this one. I promise I didn't betray you, Jungkook. I also fell for you." She sobs, with hiccups. "I never do anything to hurt you, except hiding about my identity." His eyes slightly softened as he stared her for long moments. "Do you love me?" She was taken aback by his sudden question as she gulps a lump. "Why does this matter?" She chuckled spitefully as a tear slid down her eyes. "In the end, I'm your rival's daughter, and we can be together." A sob escaped her throat, and he clenched his. And in the next instant, he grabbed her, his rib frame to hold her, but not tight to hurt her. "I asked you a question, darling. Do you love me?" puts pressure on each word, his eyes dark, and the words cold, shaking her nerves with the intensity. Yes, the words escaped her lips and in dominating. She was taken aback by the sudden impact of it, as her eyes widen and she blinks a few times to understand what's happening. Was total opposite of what she had imagined. He was pouring all his love, passion, possession, obsession, hatred, longing, and frustration in it. When she didn't respond, he making her to gasp as he took opportunity and start like a hung beast starving for months. She struggled to respond him same way on the intensity of it. After long heavy moments, ringing a phone take him back on earth, but he was still not ready to leave her. Went tapped his shoulder a few times and pushed him away as he finally gave her as she took some heavy. In his breath to hover interrupt them as he ran his finger to his words, totally frustrated and annoyed. Her cheeks was pink. Jungkook, shh. He placed a finger on her lips. Don't you dare say a single word. She gulps but nods as he fumbles his pockets and take out his phone. Before pulling her back in his arms, she didn't protest, knowing he's angry, and let him hold her while he savored the moment like a luxury. Yes, he barks on phone. Make sure it's important when clenched on his jaw, but hugs him tightly, hiding her face in his chest as he internally smiled on her action. He cuts the girl after a few minutes and wraps his other arm around her waist as well. Everything alright? She was making random circles on his heart, his smiles on her action, and her head making her feel butterflies in her stomach. She was also much calmer and relaxed than earlier. Yes, nothing to worry. He cupped her cheeks and forced her to look towards him as their eyes meet. So, what were you saying earlier? One can see the sincerity and the love he had for her as she tiptoed and cornered her his lips, melting his heart like a molten lava. He gulps a lump. You want to hear? Yes, after feeding you breakfast. With that saying, he picked her in his arms and moved outside. I can walk, she whispers near his ear. Her head rested on his shoulder. He hums in response. I know, I'm practicing for later. He has a smirk on his lips and she frowns. What that's supposed to mean? He made a sit down shelf as he walked his inner cheeks and leaned closer till their face was inches apart. Arms rested on her both sides. He gulps on the intensity of his gaze. I need to take care of you when you will not able to. Later, he snuggled flesh and she closed her eyes, her hands gripping his shirt tightly. Jungkook, what she tried to speak, but it turns into when he gave her the sound totally satisfying his smelly ego, and his mouth widened. And I will make sure you will not for days, he rasps, because you're not running away from me again, never. And at this point, we both knows the breakup stunt was not about my birthday action. He murmured. Her neck as she arched her back against left her mouth when he her ear before both the files are here. His eyes widened when he sees the scene in front and immediately turns to the side, while Wyan immediately pushed away Jacob, who with closed eyes. There's some basic manners to knock someone's door before entering. He possessively wrapped his arm around Wyan's waist, pulling her closer, and she hid her face in his. Cheeks flushed in crimson color, while Jimin rolls his eyes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. I just simply saw kitchen lights on, so I directly came here. Well, of course, I didn't know you have a company. He cleared his throat, making Wyan more embarrassed than she already was. Leave the files in living room table and leave from here. Just for information, don't ever enter without knocking it on. Even better, just ring the bell. Jimin smirks. Of course, have a good time, sister-in-law. He winks towards Wyan, making her more flushed than she already was, and left. I'm sorry about him. He didn't know you were here, she nods while biting, and his eyes darkened. Don't do that, he growls as he grabbed her chin with his thumb and slightly pulled her lip out of what is dry, while his gaze focused, and she can clearly see the in his eyes. And not forgetting about his earlier words, she immediately pushed him away with both hands and jumped on the floor. What now? His voice annoyed and frustrated as she marched towards the dining chair and sat silently. Keep your in control, she muttered without looking towards him, and he groans, coming towards her, but she pushes him again, placing her hand. I'm starving to cook. Remember, you were going to cook for me. He huffs in annoyance, and she suppresses a smile. Just please, he bows, and she in his cuteness. Who can believe he's the most rural mafia king of country? Okay, she muttered softly, and a smile appeared on his. After a quick, he started making breakfast for her while she was watching his every movement with thumping heart, not knowing what will come next for both of them. As much as she loves him, her heart was hurting to know she have to leave from here as soon as possible. So therefore she was cherishing the moment. Who knows if they will ever meet again or not. Blinking back her tears, she smiles when the cook put eggs with toast in front of her. Her eyes lit up. Wow, I didn't expect, but they taste good, Mr. Mafia. She gave him a thumbs up while eating her food, and he smiles, tucking her hairs behind her ear. I told you, baby, I have many talents that you don't know. He pulled her chair closer, and her eyes widened. What are you doing? She squeals. Jungkook stopped. She tried to protest when he made her sit. But he won, and eventually she gives up as he nuzzles his face in her neck. And are you going to eat? She tried to play it cool and pretend his presence was not affecting her. They were meeting after a month, and surely she missed him more than he can imagine. I'm planning to have my feast later. His hand reached under her. Her eyes widened. She choked on her food, making him smirk as he handed her a glass of milk. Easy there, love. There's no haste. You can eat your food calmly. He drawled, smirking, and she coughs. Jungkook. She tried to push him away, but nothing worked. He was holding her firmly while his hand was making random circles, making her feel shivers on the spot. Jungkook, please stop. She tried to push his hand away, which was neck, making her close her eyes. Please, what, baby? He placed down, and she groans, regretting her life decision to attend yesterday's party. He was surely acting more clingy and romantic than his usual self, though that an actions of his was not helping the situation at all. Jingo, please stop, please, she pleaded, a hint of desperation in her voice. Sorry to disappoint you, baby, but that's not happening. Leaves trails from her, and it was taking her all willpower to accent and not submit herself to him. We can't, I need to go, Jungkook. He grits his teeth on her statement, his eyes turning dark as he squeezes her waist and pulls her more closer till she can feel his breath on her face. She gulps a lump on his sudden change of demeanor. You have said that now. Don't repeat those words again. She blinks and encourages herself to protest. He can't claim her like this. She was not his possession anymore. We break up, she reminded with a serious face. I'm not yours anymore to show your claim. His eyes turns more darker as he pulls her closer, as if he is telling her she's only his to claim and she can't run away no like this. And again, she and how like this is the last moment when he will have her before Earth explodes. After what felt like hours, he finally left her. Well, she looks up towards him after calming herself, but before she got the right words to speak, he got up with her in his arms as he made a wrap around his torso and came towards the living room. He just held him tightly for dear life. As he sits on couch with her in there was heavy silence in moment when Gulp slipping towards him and sit next to him. He didn't protest it this time. He opened the file which Jimin left earlier and extended towards her. She frowns and looked towards him in curiosity. Sign it, he announced. His tone doesn't have any room for any arguments. What is this? She asked in confusion, grabbing pen. Our marriage documents, he hissed, and her eyes widened in shock. What? Once, part 3. Thanks for watching, everyone.